want to be safe. We all want to be warm. We all want to feel loved, know the comfort of home. Want our children to grow, learn to make their own sound. Seems to me we all walk on common ground. Common ground.
Howdy. It's Citizen Joe, and today we have a guest with us. I'm going to call him the Good Don. The Good Don, yes. We will call him the Good Don. There's the bad Don, and there is the good Don, and he is the good Don. Or shall I say there is the evil Don, and there is the good Don, and he is the good Don. At any rate, we're going to be talking with Don today here on True Common Ground. And what we want to talk about today, I mean, we all see it. The whole world sees it. It seems like the only people who don't see it are the people who work in the judiciary, like judges and them folk. Donald Trump is strategically using delay as his primary tactic to confront the charges leveled against him. He engages in extensive legal maneuvering, submitting appeals and requesting extensions to prolong litigation processes, and by manipulating public opinion through social media. He creates distractions and he shifts focus away from the charges, and then he capitalizes on the passage of time to alter his statements, to sow doubt, to paint himself as a victim, or speak, just say that it's all about partisan bias. So the delay strategy enables him to maintain control, basically, manipulate the public's opinions, and establish an environment, that favors his narrative. So we have a real problem because he's really, really, really good at that. And, it gets to a point, where you wonder, are we ever going to get out of this mess? Is there ever going to be a situation, where we can just have some justice? What say you, the good Don?
Yeah. So there is a certain numbing effect that his constant ability to squeeze out of the tube, he gets packed in there and you figure, okay, we got this, it's going. And then he starts his shenanigans. Mm-hmm. And the United States judicial system is made to protect the innocent.
Yeah.
And there is, if there ever was a place you could stall, that is the place. And so what we need to forget about stop the steal. We need to stop the stall.
Yes.
And
yes.
He needs to have that thrown at him at every turn because he gets away with it with his belonging.
Oh, the courts are like his playground. He just knows how to.
He's a pro. He's a pro. I would give him credit. It's not really credit. It's just, you got to recognize that he has that ability, and don't engage in his game. Just, just like, you would say if you were picking sides to play, softball or something, and you were waiting for, the really good guy to show up,
mm-hmm.
that you knew was coming, but he was late.
Yeah.
And you would kind of, dance around picking teams like, oh, not ready to go yet. And somebody would say, quit stalling, man.
Yeah.
Quit stalling. Come on. You know what's going on. Let's go. Let's start the game. And that's what he needs to be told at every turn. I need to get me a T-shirt that says "Stop the stall."
I like that. I like it. Maybe we should. Let's
add
make one.
A word to the bottom of that, but I'll leave that to the cruder.
Yes.
I'll buy it though. If you make it, I'll buy it.
But doesn't it almost seem like, I feel like on the one side you have jurists that are like, no, this is our proper procedure. This is the way we go through things. And by God, we're going to do things properly, even if it takes the next 10 years. I mean, you look at E. Jean Carroll, all right? She started her litigation.
5 years.
Yeah, 2019.
5 years.
5 goddamn years. He raped her, for God's sakes. He pushed her into a dressing room and he raped her. What else why? What's hard about this?
Why is he not, it's fine. I am all for like the stalling and so on, but they take people of color and they put them in jail because they can't come up with bribe money. Oh, I'm sorry, It's not bribe money. What is it called?
Yeah,
bail. That's it. Bail.
Yeah,
they have to come up with bail, and they can't. They're poor people. They don't have this, and they have to wait, and they wait in the freaking slammer. How about if Donald Trump waits in the slammer for his machinations to go forward?
I don't, for the life of me, I cannot understand why we don't have pretrial incarceration for this guy. We certainly would have it for you and me. We certainly would have it for a black man.
We have cause to do it because he doesn't listen to instructions.
Absolutely.
And the judge says, "Ooh, I'm almost ready to give you the whooping you one more time." That's all they say to him. And he sits there and says, "You know how many fucking times I've heard that?"
It's only funny because it's true. It's only funny because it's true.
Well, this is the tool. I think mocking him at every turn is the tool that he cannot defend against.
Oh, it goes nuts.
He's not smart. He's not witty. He's not quick. He's just a repeater of the same thing every time he talks. It's just
I'm really much more popular than Taylor Swift. I don't understand why she's
literally the former leader of the free world right now is very upset that people seem to like Taylor Swift more than him. And we want to vote for this guy. He's got the emotional intelligence of a 3-year-old. He talks like, well, he doesn't talk very well at all right now. He can't really pull a full sentence together. And yet somehow this guy rides above it all. And I
think, I think just to digress for a moment on that subject, because it is interesting that he has kind of, done that. Is he now has to watch what he says.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it cost him $83 million to talk altogether the way he talks.
Yep.
He just couldn't hold it in. And now he sees what can actually happen.
But how long do you think it's going to last? I'll bet you within 6 months. He'll start retweeting other people's tweets. That'll be the first. Let me just stick my toe over the line a little bit. He'll get his lawyers to say what he would like to say. He'll push them, all right? And they'll, of course, sort of push back and say, look, Don, we're trying to make sure you don't lose any more money. And eventually, he'll just burst. He won't be able to do it. He doesn't have the emotional intelligence, the stamina, or the mental, the cerebral capacity to just simply behave like a good boy.
Just be.
Yeah.
He has to be the center of attention
all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's over time he wants total immunity. He's become immune to thinking. He can't keep himself in a box and say, okay, I can say this.
Yeah.
Can't say any of that. He doesn't know how to do that. He's never had to. In how long?
Well, that's the key.
30 years?
That's the key. I would say 50 years, ever since he was brought up on charges for discriminating, him and his father for discriminating in their properties. But that's the point. The point you just made there, he's never had to do it. If you never have to suffer any consequences for your transgressions, well, then it works, right? It works.
Right.
So just keep doing it. Do whatever you want,
And with 50 years of constant practice,
yeah,
I can tell you as a guitar player, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, you
can't not.
He is a student of his first attorney. What was it, Leonard Cohen or just Cohen?
Yeah.
Roy Cohen, right.
Leonard Cohen was a fine musician.
That's right. I'm sorry, Leonard, and your estate. I'm sorry.
We deeply, deeply apologize.
We apologize for that. I'm sorry. But Roy Cohen was a vicious, hateful man on so many levels, and he taught Donald this one main lesson: never, never, never give in. Never give up.
Right.
Never ever admit that you're wrong. Never ever apologize under any circumstances. Do not apologize.
And it has absolutely worked.
That's worked for him. It's so shocking, I think, to members of the judiciary, to members of law enforcement, just normal human beings, that we're appalled. We sort of back away, and we allow him to act like this buffoon, this drunken bull in a china shop all the time, and he likes it. It's fun, It's theater. It's attention. It's the attention that he probably never got from his parents. And
there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Right.
He loves it.
Right. So we've got this situation. How do we get the judiciary? What can we, the common men and women of America, do to tell the judiciary we're tired of waiting? For God's sakes, 3 weeks ago they heard arguments on immunity. 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Come on, how hard is this? All right, his lawyer literally.
I think here's the thing. To that exact point, they do not want to give him any reason to appeal anything.
Yeah,
and they are they're stunned into
But he's going to appeal. He's going to appeal everything.
Well, he'll try, but if you don't, it won't be their fault. You know what I mean? It won't be who was the guy that was on the last trial, the $88 million trial? Who was the judge?
Oh,
he was great.
Kaplan?
Yeah, he was not taking any crap.
Yeah.
But still, he did not put him in the slammer. And I don't think he would have been hurt if he put him in for 24 hours. I don't think anybody who would say, "Oh, that's just wrong."
No.
Who would say that?
Well, his followers would, his cult. But I think the judge didn't do it because he didn't want to be party to making him a martyr, number one. And your life is at risk. Anytime you run against this guy, your life is at risk. Jack Smith, they said, I heard a figure of something like $34 million so far in security for him and his family.
Security for him? I'm not surprised.
This, and that's the other thing. This whole circus that we are living in the middle of, it's costing the taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions. When he comes for one of his hearings in New York City, he brings an entourage of like 12 cars, Secret Service. You don't need that many people. He doesn't have to ride in like he's a king, but he brings all of these people in. So
that's his whole deal, man.
Yeah, it's all performative. It's sickening. But so you've got one part of the judiciary that says, well, let's be very proper, and I think the other half though is I really think they're frightened. I really do. I think they just don't know what to do, and they're not going to put their lives and their family on the line for this.
Yeah. There's a remember who was it? Jimmy Carter with the malaise.
Yeah.
There is this this malaise that you just kind of I don't know. It's hard to describe. We were talking about it the other day where I feel it. It's almost like it's coming out of my phone and it's teaching me how to be content. I'm okay with it. I know it's bad, but it's okay.
Yeah.
That's the way it sort of feels.
The thing is,
and it's you can't do anything. There's nothing you can do, but there is a thing you can do. You can vote. You can vote. You can vote.
Yes.
People can vote.
Because I think in the end,
I always vote. I've only not voted once.
In the end,
I forget why.
That's going to be the only. That's going to be our only recourse in the end. I do think that the Supreme Court, who they have claimed that they are institutionalists, originalists, that whatever the whatever the Constitution originally said and what it originally meant. By God, that's what they're going to live by, which is why we have a Second Amendment where everyone's allowed to carry guns and things like that. But when it comes to the 14th Amendment, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, the 53 words that basically say...
I'm not sure. Is that a period there or is that a comma? Are you sure they didn't make commas like periods?
Was he really an officer? I don't know if he was an officer. It says that if you were an officer
with two F's or one, because could have been. They used to make their S's like F's, and perhaps they wasn't an. They're not talking about officers. They're talking about officers, and we have to find out what the meaning of officer is. We'll have to go back in time, and we're not able to do that. So let's go to lunch.
That's what it is, though, isn't it? I mean, the absurdity of him saying that I'm not really an officer. Look, you're running for the office of president. That means you're an officer.
You win, you'll be the chief. The chief, what is it? What he's the
commander in chief. I think that makes you
military.
You'll be the number one.
Is there
ranking,
anything else?
The number one ranking officer in the military is the commander in chief. So these are some of the things that they're trying to defend him with, and it's pretty sickening. And if the Supreme Court balks on this one, kicks the can down the road, shame on them. Really shame on them.
Well, that is probably all the parsing and legal finagling that you can do on the language, which is really simple. Yeah. There's 53 words, right? There's not even a lot of thinking here. This is pretty much direct. It's like, if you do this, I don't care who you are, you're done.
It's extremely blatantly direct. It says anyone who engages in or gives comfort to or supports anyone who initiates insurrection against the government cannot run for any office at all, including dog catcher. All right, anything, nothing. Okay, and
anything under the umbrellas of everything.
Right, and it's a very direct.
And they
statement.
did a good job because those guys, they knew how to nail the door shut, man.
They did it. They did not want Confederate officers finding their way back into government. This law was made after this amendment was made after the Civil War. They did not.
And it took them a long time, but they finally did. They got back into government.
Some of them did. Yes, they did.
There's no question.
But this was their protection. This was how they could stop them up front and say, wait, let's really think about this before we make any further moves. The long and short of this thing is we've got a judiciary and a Congress right now, most of which is corrupted. And so we've got to deal with that. They're also frightened of what he and his followers might do. It's not going to get better, guys. It's only going to get worse, okay? Is there going to be blood? Almost definitely. Tragically, yes, probably there will be some blood. There certainly will be violence from his side, from his people, okay? But if you don't do this today and put it off, till next month or next week or next year or 10 years from now, it's going to get much worse than it is today. If this is too frightening to you, then leave, okay? Because this is the job. This is what you're supposed to do. And if you can't do it, somebody else should do it. That having been said.
The stall.
We have to stop the stall.
And that the whole, the thing that the Supreme Court is going to do, for sure, is they're going to do this thing called find an off-ramp.
Yep.
They're going to find some way to stall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They almost want Trump in office so that he can make all this go away, because otherwise they have too hard of a job and they are not fit for it.
I'll tell you one thing.
And the people who are the biggest problem are the people that Trump put there. It's so crazy. The whole structure of this.
They're talking about Stephen Miller being the Attorney General of the United States. Yeah, Stephen Miller.
That's smarmy little greasy
Nazi.
wannabe Nazi Himmler piece of snot.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Did
I
you
said
say?
this bad Don.
It's not.
I thought we had him in a box.
Word? I'm not sure.
He's been naughty. He's been saying things to me in my sleep, and I'm not enjoying it.
Well, listen, we gotta work hard to stop the stall, and the only way to do that is to vote in numbers too big to rig and too real to steal. We have got to get to the polling places. Nobody can stay home this time because they're going to do everything they can to suppress this vote and to delist people from the rolls and every other kind of thing, gerrymandering, the works. So we're going to have to really... And
also, if I can like stamp a stamp on the bottom of that one, it's not just who you vote for president. You got to pay attention all the way down, because you're local. It's gotten local.
Yeah. Where,
I don't know where you live, but up here where I live in Sussex County, New Jersey, it's a real red county.
Sure is.
And the people that, it's almost like, what I would call, and it's not all Democrats or Republicans or independents or whatever. It's good people. Good people don't really want to get involved in this schmuckery which government has become. They don't want to listen to these morons. The people who do run for office and to do a good job and to, quell the nonsense are really to be commended. They should get like major uniforms with badges on them to wear, because they deserve respect.
They're the heroes
and honor for doing that job.
They truly are the heroes.
You don't want to do it. The only people who want to do that are people who want to control. They want to control, and they want things to go their way all the time. They're not interested in what is right and good and benefits the majority of the people. They're not willing to put their own desires aside to put in place those things which are for the people.
Mm-hmm. But they do want to tell you what to read, what to do, and they really want to camp out.
Well, that's because, what they know and want is good.
Yes. Well, and that's why they want to camp out in your bedroom. Well, listen, with that, folks, the only way to stop the stall is to get out there and vote.
You knew that. You knew we were going to say that. This is not news.
You have to.
Nobody doesn't know.
I know, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it a million times over and over and over again. You cannot stay home this time, and you can't let anybody else who could be a registered voter. You cannot let them stay home. This is it, folks. This is it. We blow this one. It ain't going to hurt me. It's not going to hurt the good Don over there, because we're not going to be around that much longer, to be perfectly honest with you. But boy, it's going to make life. It's going to make life hell on earth for our children and for our grandchildren.
I think it's going to be a good thing for me. I exit early. I'm going to be looking for an off ramp if he gets in.
Oh man, I think a lot of people are. And with that, we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Adieu.
We all want to be safe. We all want to be warm. We all want to feel loved, know the comfort of home. Want our children to grow, learn to make their own sound. Seems to me we all walk on common ground. Common ground. Common ground, we all walk on common ground.
We all want to be strong, fully free and alive. Take just enough chances, stand up tall and with pride. Yes, we all want to play, have good friends all around. It seems to me we all walk on common ground. Common ground, common ground. We all walk
on common ground. Some conversations aren't easy, and we wonder how we'll turn this mess around. But if we realize and seek to compromise,
we sleep under one moon, lift our face to one sun, feel the wetness of rain, seek shelter, everyone. Yearn for rest when we're weary, seek solace when we're down. It seems to me we all walk on common ground.
Some conversations aren't easy,
and we wonder how we'll turn this mess around.
but if we realize and seek to compromise, we can meet on common ground. Common ground. We all walk on common ground. Common ground. Common ground. We all walk. I know that we all walk 1 foot forward. We all walk on common ground.